In that band.
Morning, Dean and Reverend Bill.
No, that's Linda and Reverend Bill.
Good morning,
Oh,
Linda. I flunked ushering.
That's the other wife.
Another name, Marcione.
Another Marcione.
Yeah, I'm in Arizona, so the details to follow.
Dina was here before.
Okay. Yeah, apparently she's off to the emergency room now.
What's Arizona like? Cold, hot?
It's about 52, something like that.
The people in Arizona think it's chilly. The people in Philadelphia think pretty nice.
I think it's chilly, and it rained overnight around between 3 and 4, so
So
a
exciting.
little bit, but yeah, it's lovely.
All right, I'm hitting the chime.
Good morning, Winnie. Good morning, Patricia.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's Reverend Bill with your God Call.
There's always a lesson to be learned, and this time the lesson comes from the baggage claim at the airport. When we check our bag, we go on our flight, and our bag goes with us, taking its own particular path. When we get to our destination, we go to the baggage claim, and we wait. And there's nothing happening. And we wait. We know that our bag, that our good, is on its way to us right now. And then, when it arrives, suddenly everything changes. We go from waiting to the next experience of our life. Expect something wonderful on your baggage claim today.
That's me. Dream of the sun, my friend, when clouds have covered him. Dream, won't you dream, on a rainy afternoon. Dream, shining summer dawns, try and see the way, my friend, while I watch the violet sky turn to blue.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Bernard. And good morning, New Thought Phoenix. Okay, it's New Thought Philadelphia is New Thought Phoenix for me. The Odyssey and the saga of returning from San Diego, but we'll get into that a little bit more later. The good news is I get to spend Sunday morning with Linda here at her house in Phoenix, and so it's all good. And this is a fifth Sunday healing celebration. The months that have a fifth Sunday, it happens about 4 times a year. We get to pull back and focus on healing, which is the revealing of the truth and creating new experiences in our lives. And so that's what the celebration is about today. And it's absolutely awesome. And I'm delighted that everyone is here. You know the rules for a meeting on Zoom, which is leave your microphone muted except when you're sharing, et cetera, so that we can all be respectful of each other. And every now and again, we're going to all unmute and make a big joyous noise together. Let's go ahead and do that right now. And you can repeat after me. I open myself to love.
I
open
open
myself
to love.
I open myself to joy.
I open
I open
Myself
myself
to
to
joy.
I open myself to the awareness of the healing that is happening right now.
I
I open myself to the
myself
awareness of
of the
healing.
healing that is happening now.
Right now.
No, love is right here, right now.
I know.
I know.
I know love is right
It's right
here.
here, right now.
Right now.
Right now.
And so it is.
And
So it is.
Stop the mic. and then click the mute button. I am Reverend Bill Marcione. Our music today is the illustrious Bernard Sarkissian. Our practitioner is Joe Catanzaro, RSCP, and our master of ceremonies at the headquarters there in Lower Marion Township is Breen Ward.
Thank you. Yes, holding down the fort in Lower Marion Township. Welcome, everyone. Good morning. New Thought Philadelphia is an open and loving community of spiritual adventurers, welcoming each person to experience their divine nature and empowering space of unconditional love. Whatever path you've been on, wherever you're headed next, whatever brought you into our Zoom today, we've been waiting for you, and welcome. Now, we believe there is one power, love, intelligence, or force that creates everything, including each of us, and that we each use that very same power, love, intelligence, or force to create our lives according to our beliefs. Or as we like to say, our new life begins with a new thought. Take a moment, if you would, and turn off any unnecessary electronic devices, whatever device you're not zooming in with us today, so your phone and pagers and fax machines don't go off in the middle of celebration. We're going to begin our celebration, and we begin everything with prayer. And Joe is going to lead us in our opening prayer.
Good morning, everyone. Good to see everybody. Let's all take a breath, settle in, connect with that inner source, and know that there's only love. One power, the one presence, the one source. It works in us, through us, and as us, flowing infinitely, sharing itself, allowing us to create with its creative force. We are each one of us all together, inextricably linked with each other and with that one. We are limitless beings. Light, love, spirit is the truth of us and our core. The same light and love that comes from that one power and presence flows into and through us. I know that today we join together to celebrate wholeness, joy, peace, courage, wisdom, love, all of the good that flows from that one love, because love is all there is. So today, I know that we share and enjoy and get the richness of all of that good flowing through us and into our lives now. This celebration is love unfolding. So I claim all of this for each one here. I accept it, I allow it. And I release my word to the law that always says yes. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Joe. So why pray? What's the big deal? We pray because it works. That's why. Why do anything? To get a new result in our lives. So now's the time we like to open up the community, hear about how prayer is working in your life. We call it, get this, prayer work stories. Linda.
Good morning, everyone. I'm so glad to be here with my cousin. So I got a phone call from Bill the other day because I knew he was in San Diego, and he was telling me about how that because of this snow back east that he was going to be delayed. And I said, "Oh, are you coming to Phoenix?" And he said, "I think I am, because I'm going to get routed through Phoenix." So he was going to try to change it. It started being ridiculously expensive. And so he said, so long story short, we were going to just meet in the airport for lunch. So I went, yeah, I don't think so. So I did a prayer, and I decided that he was going to be able to spend the night, but I didn't know until I got to the airport. So when he walked up the ramp, and he goes, "Guess what? I'm spending the night." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know." So it worked out great. And yes, prayer does work. And there you go.
Bam.
Beautiful. Thank you. Print me up to spend the night in Phoenix. That's awesome.
Okay.
Joe.
Time.
All right, so this one's going to sound silly, but I drove home the other night and there was no parking spaces. And there was a guy sitting in his car with the lights on the phone in front of my house. And he's, no, I'm not leaving. Okay. So I pulled into this spot that I couldn't stay in early the next morning. So it's okay. There will be a spot. I know there will be a spot. So he leaves. I'm sorry, he gets out of the car. I see the car is now dark and it's parked there. And I don't know, about an hour later, I said, okay, time to drive around the block. I go out. There's another car with one of my neighbors saying goodbye to her friend. And I said, are you leaving? She said, yeah, just give us a minute. I said, no rush, no rush. She pulled out and I got the spot right in front of my house.
Beautiful. Thank you. If anyone's ever lived in Philadelphia or parked in Philadelphia, you know that's a powerful prayer. Bill, do you have one, sir?
I do. I am claiming this as my own prayer work story. So my daughter has her little potato-shaped dog, Professor Henry Higgins. And Professor Higgins, his eyes, he's a little elderly, so his eyes are a little cloudy, got some cataract going on. And a week and a half ago or so, his left eye got really cloudy and was also bloodshot, and it seemed to be bothering him some. So they took him to the vet, and the vet said, you need to go to the emergency vet, you need to see an ophthalmologist, et cetera, et cetera. Of course, this was on Saturday. So they spent Saturday and Sunday worrying about what to do with the dog because there were no ophthalmologists available until Monday. So Monday, the crack of dawn, 3 of them took the dog over to the emergency vet, where he spent the entire day. Monday, they took one look at him and said, yep, this is the deal where his lens is coming through his iris, and if it detaches, then it's going to be really painful, could lose the eye. So we're going to keep him here until the ophthalmologist is available. Dog sat in the crate at that all day on Monday with the prayers, of course, going on. And the ophthalmologist took a look at him and said, well, this has resolved itself. The lens has pushed itself back into the place where it wasn't cloudy. They went and picked the dog up. He's perfectly happy. The lens was perfectly good all week long. They're on their way back over to the emergency vet today because his eye is cloudy again one more time. So prayers continue because that's what we do.
Amen. Christine, you have your hand up.
Yeah, so I've been dealing with a lot of chronic medical issues, significant ones, and through prayer with many people here. I was put on a lot of medications, like 12 medications, and I was taken off all of them, except for 2, which are PRN, which are as needed, which I haven't needed. So prayer does work. Prayer works.
Amen. Thank you. Wonderful. I love hearing that stuff. So prayer works. We want to park. You want to have spend the night in Phoenix. You want to get off all your meds. Prayer works. Give it a whirl. And now coming to us again from Phoenix is Linda with the announcements.
Thank you for the intro. This healing information is on our website at newthoughtphilly.org and on our weekly e-newsletter. Please sign up on the website so we can keep in touch. Twice a day, we do a community check-in and meditation on Zoom. Everyone is welcome. They're inspiring and fun, I can attest to that, and quick, less than 15 minutes start to finish. Episode 34 of Reverend Bill's Practical Prayer podcast, say that 3 times, is Does God Have a Plan? Listen on the website or subscribe on Apple, Google, Spotify, or Stitcher. Follow our social media on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and join the 787 members of our Philly Spiritual Adventurers group on meetup.com. The Power of 8 Intention Circle meets Mondays at 7 p.m. Contact Sandy for info. The Women's Circle meets on the 4th Thursday of the month on Zoom. Contact Sandy again for info. 3C, the Conscious Creativity Core, meets the 3rd Tuesday of the month. New Thought Philadelphia is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We're grateful for your donations by PayPal, check, Venmo, or Cash App. Thank you to the production team and presenters who make our Zoom celebrations work and have fun doing it.
Yay.
And I witnessed it this morning. It was fun. There's a short technical rehearsal before the celebration on Sunday. To join the team, contact Carla Ann.
And it is a fun tech rehearsal.
It was
We had a good time.
Next week is a virtual celebration on Zoom and YouTube. Reverend Bill talks about metaphysical metaphors, how our words have power and meaning, and the deeply spiritual practice of saying what we mean and meaning what we say. Live original music by Susan Cataneo. Reverend Bill and the practitioners offer professional spiritual coaching and practical prayer by appointment. After the celebration, Ms. Joe will be available for a quick miracle in a minute prayer at no charge. We'll leave the Zoom open at the end to talk amongst ourselves, and that's always fun too. So there you go. Yay,
Yay.
announcements.
Yay. Thank you, Linda. So normally now's the time we like to welcome new visitors, but I'm looking through the participant list and looking around the camera. I'm not sure. I don't think there's anyone who's here for the first time. Is anyone here for the first time? No. Okay. So we're going to bless each other. So take a moment, rub your hands together, generate a lot of warmth and love and energy. You are a bright light of divine love. Thank you for sharing your light with us, and welcome. Yay! So if we're in person, like we like to do, and we will again, this is the time we call our greeting song. We walk around and hug each other and say hello and fist bump and elbow bump, or do hey, how you doing from across the room. But just for now, put your Zoom on gallery view and look around at all the wonderful people. Bernard, I have an Uncle Bernard, so I always want to call him Bernard or Bernard. It's B. Let's just say B is going to sing us another song.
Thanks, Breen. Good morning, everyone. Do you know me? I'm a child with a glider, standing on my back porch, watching loop-de-loops go round. Do you know me? I'm a boy with my mother, we just put out the water for these little birds outside. Do you know me? I'm a child in a garden, striking up a bargain with this monarch butterfly. Do you know me? I'm a child by the river, emptying my quiver on this beauty I see outside. And I'm sitting At the top of my tree, you're looking down. Got a bird's eye view of all you fools on the ground. Some are walking, some are dancing around. But in the end, I know we're all just homeward bound. I wish I was. Thanks, Breen.
Thank you, B. Beautiful. And now we've got Carolyn, who's going to lead us in the flames. Yes? Yes.
We perform this ceremony to acknowledge that all people and all faiths come from the one power, love, intelligence, which we call Spirit or God. We honor the richness that comes from our shared diversity and bless the interwoven energy of the divine feminine and masculine. We light the first candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. As we light the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone or any place you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love.
Thank you. Thank you. And now we've got a reading brought to us by Sandy.
So this reading was actually sent to us by Joe, but I'm reading it. And this is from Science of Mind magazine from this month, January. The article is called Hanging On May Be Hazardous, and it starts with two quotes. First from Oprah Winfrey, breathe, let go, and remind yourself that this very moment is the only one you know you have for sure. And the second is from The Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. It's quite a burden lifted when we realize that we do not have to move the world. It's going to move anyway. And then the article goes on to say, when we find ourselves filled with anxiety that manifests as a clenched jaw or fists, a rigid neck, or scrunched shoulders, these all are indications that we have an attachment to a condition or person in our lives. Once we observe our reactive behavior, we can take a deep breath and begin the process of letting go. We don't have to give up the intention for what we want, but we do have to be willing to give up how we go about getting it. In surrendering attachment, there's an extraordinary sense of freedom. In that freedom is an abundance of possibilities. Some would call it living in grace. How do we surrender? The practice is to take attention off trying to possess someone or something. Instead, we identify those ideas we want to express in our life. In surrendering, we free ourselves from the constant chatter about what isn't working. We're then open to discover the other possibilities in store for us. We become aware of our divine self when we let go of the suffering from the past and the neediness of the future. Learning to live in the moment helps us to stay centered in love. When I live in the moment, I allow God's healing power to take charge. If I can take time in the silence, I return to the extraordinary place of peace and harmony. Instead of planning, changing, and fixing, I allow myself to just be. In those still, small, quiet moments, inspiration sneaks in and whispers its plan for us. There are amazing experiences waiting for us if we can let go enough to experience them. Let go and let God guide you to your greater good. And it ends with an affirmation. I am open to unlimited opportunities, showing up with ease and grace.
There's a house on a hillside that quietly resides at the corner of my mind. There's a friend of mine, and we stand quietly. We talk about a garden we might plant here. Green shutters swing open to blue sky. So I take a gift from this life. I try to do what I think is right. Sometimes I fail, more times I'll succeed, and I know in the end I know what is right. I know
Beautiful. Thank you, Bernard.
You're welcome.
So, little clips there, such is the nature of life in Phoenix. This is fifth Sunday, healing celebration. And in a bit, we're going to light a candle to celebrate a new intention, a new invitation, a new experience of healing that we're inviting into our lives. If you have a candle handy, you can use your own. It's a BYOC Sunday. If you don't, that's okay. There is the candle cam is set up. You can see the healing celebration candles, which is on the other side of the room that Breen is in. So you can accept one of our virtual candles to make the same thing work for you. What I wanted to talk about is the nature of healing, because in a lot of cases, we think of healing as fixing something. We get a boo-boo, and then we need to tend to it so that it's going to get better. And the healing is things going back to normal or the way they were. And in fact, that's one aspect of it. But healing is a much bigger process. It's a much broader idea and understanding. Healing is actually the revealing of the truth. And the truth is that there's only love. Everything, everywhere, everyone is God's love taking its own specific and particular form. Everything is God's love expressed in its own individual way. And that includes me and includes each of us. So healing is returning to the awareness that that is what is the truth. And when it comes to healing, what we're looking for is an alignment an experience of harmony and balance in the experience of life that we're having. I'll give you an example from my own life. So I was at the Anton annual board retreat all week in San Diego, flew out on Monday. Really rich, wonderful time with the board, a lot of wonderful progress being made. I mean, just transformation happening in the organization, really looking forward to that. So it's very much time well spent. And some of it was operational, organizational things that a board that's running a national, international organization would be doing. And another big piece of it was some interpersonal process stuff that we're doing. It's understanding our personalities, the things that trigger each of us individually, and that could either lead to us triggering each other, either unintentionally, we hope, or intentionally, in the case of a really dysfunctional organization. But also to understand the relative strengths and vulnerabilities that each of us has, so we can use the abilities that we have, the awareness. If somebody is particularly sensitive, then when a situation requires particular sensitivity, we can call that in. And when a situation requires somebody with really sharp analytical skills, who sometimes overthinks things, it's like, let's bring that person in. Because it's not that the specific skill set is good or bad, it's understanding when is the right time to call on those resources. And when when the need is for somebody who's really empathetic and sensitive, let's not focus on the rational analytical skills, because it's just not going to help. What we want to do is be in alignment, in harmony, in balance in the experiences that we're having. A perfect example is finances. You know, somebody who is having a challenge because the rent is due on the 1st of the month. By the way, Fifth Sunday Healing Celebration is always right before the 1st of the month, because that's kind of the nature of those things. And if somebody needs to have the $900 to pay the rent, or whatever the amount is to pay the health insurance, and it's not there, the problem seems like it's the money. The problem seems like it's the money, but it's not the money. The problem actually is the interaction and the balance between the available resources, the funds that are on hand, and the obligations, the amount that's due. We can solve that problem. It seems like, oh, I need more money. Okay, and more money would very obviously solve that problem. It can also happen that if the health insurance is due, that the insurance company will say, you know, we our earnings ratio last year, we're obligated by federal law to pay a certain percentage of our of the money that we collect in premiums to providing services, and we came in under last year, so here's a $900 rebate to make up the balance. And suddenly the problem is solved, because they take the $900 off the amount that's due. So it's not necessarily the way that we thought it was going to happen. It's something else coming together to bring us back into that experience of alignment, of harmony and balance. So I was in San Diego, having a wonderful time, including a lovely trip to the coast. We spent the afternoon on Wednesday at the meditation garden at the Self-Realization Fellowship, which is the Paramahansa Yogananda thing, right on the beach in Encinitas. It's beautiful. And an opportunity to really deepen and connect and be present. And of course, also send some wonderful selfies back to our folks in Philadelphia who all just go, ooh-ah. And then, of course, there was this nor'easter that came through on Friday. I was scheduled to fly home Friday afternoon, getting in like 10:15. And the crack of dawn on Friday morning, they had canceled the flight, which was to be expected. So I immediately rebooked myself to fly back on the same flight on Saturday, trying to figure out, okay, now what am I going to do? I'm in San Diego. I'm checking out of the hotel this morning. And then I realized this is a problem that worst case scenario can be solved for less than $200. So let it go. We'll make sure that everything is going to fit together perfectly. My friend Stu, who was one of the co-founders with Dina of the Philadelphia Songwriters Project, lives in San Diego. And because of the schedule that I had on the retreat and the schedule that he had, we weren't able to get together. So I immediately texted Stu. I said, what you doing for dinner tonight? Looks like I'm going to be in San Diego. So with this challenge, with this snowstorm coming through, with my flight being delayed, which could have just been a horrible crisis, problem, difficulty, there's now an opportunity to spend the evening with Stu. And so I got to do that. And then looking to book the flight back, it's like, okay, so the Saturday flight then got canceled. And they couldn't put me on the Sunday nonstop flight because there were no seats left available. And you could look at that and say, oh my God, it's a problem. Wow, terrible. And so so now I needed to take a connecting flight. And one of the connecting flights went through Arizona, went through Phoenix. It's like, Linda lives in Phoenix. Let's see what's going on there. So I managed to finagle to get the layover in Arizona to be as long as possible. They won't let you stay more than 4 hours without having to pay an extra $400. And I wasn't going to do that. So I put myself on the flight that got in at noon yesterday and was leaving at 4. And then it turns out when I get back home, I'm going to isolate for a little while just because I've been out and about in the land of Omicron. And the place where I'm going to be staying, the internet is out. So it's like, oh, well, that's going to mess up the Sunday celebration. I'm going to have to figure out something else I could do. So I went over to the counter at the airport and I said, can I rebook for Saturday or to fly home on Sunday? Sure. So the same flight on Sunday going out today at 4, or I can take the early one. I can stand by at the one at 2:30. And I get to spend the evening together with Linda, my cousin, I haven't seen in a couple of years, and get to do the Sunday celebration from here. Keep in mind, this could have been a crisis and an emergency all the way along. Oh my God, I can't get in. Oh my God, I'm going to be delayed. Oh my God, I can't get home, and have it all be a problem. And we let go of the thought that it's going to be a problem. We say, okay, what good is possible to unfold in my life in this circumstance, in this situation, and let in the good. So when I got off the plane in Phoenix, of course, my bag is checked through to Philadelphia. And I said, is the bag going to come off the baggage claim in Phoenix? So I have my luggage, or is it going to go through to Philly? And they said, it'll be in Philly when you get there. Now, fortunately, I had anticipated this. So I brought everything that I needed to have in my carry-on. So I had it all with me. So I don't need the stuff that's there. So the pieces are fitting together in a helpful and delightful way. Healing is when we are in harmony between what we want and what we have. The pain and agitation and anxiety and difficulty comes in when there's a delta, there's a difference, there's some space between what we're experiencing and what we're wanting. Now, it's not to say that that's bad. That's where our dreams, our goals, our aspirations, our highest and best lives. It's not necessarily that we need to continue having the experience that we've been having. But it's also not like you can put a dollar sign and say, once I earn X amount of money, or once I have accomplished this, my life will be complete. What we want to do is turn our attention instead to the experience of the healing. What is the experience? Once I have all these things that I say I want to have, how am I going to feel? What's my life going to be like? What am I going to be doing? Who am I going to be with? What's the richness and fullness and joy that I'm seeking in my life? And it could turn out that the experience that's on its way to you is different than the experience that you thought it was going to be. Ram Dass, who started his life as Richard Alpert, psychiatrist at Harvard, and then gave up all of the studies that he was doing with psychedelics and a fabulous practice that he had and lots of money, when he realized that there was some stuff in Eastern spirituality that completely dwarfed all the work that he'd been doing. And so he committed his life to working on this stuff, and it was wonderful, and he was beloved and a master, and he wrote books, and it was great. Then he had a stroke. He was in a wheelchair, and he couldn't take care of himself, and he's always been very independent, and he didn't like being dependent on other people. He didn't like needing to ask. He didn't like needing to wait. He didn't like any of that stuff. And there was an aha moment for him when he realized that the people who loved him wanted to be able to take care of him and support him and help him. And he realized that by being independent, he wasn't letting them do that. So in this next experience that he was having, he was able to allow people to love him and support him and be present with him so that he can enjoy this period of his life in a completely different way than he had before, not what he'd been expecting. When he finally passed, he was surrounded by such love, people who were so devoted, so committed, and so joyous to be able to help him experience his life in a way that was rich and full and uplifting, that it transcended all of the challenges and all of the difficulties. So healing is the revealing of the truth. It is the awareness and the opening and the evidence that love is unfolding in whatever it is that we're doing. So in the process that we're doing today, Joe's going to lead us in a meditation where we're going to allow spirit to tell us that the tone and texture and flavor of what we're looking for. And then Brina is going to guide us in a process where we can light a candle and set that intention and invite it more fully into the world. So I am now going to shut up and let Joe take over.
Thank you, Bill. That was really helpful and inspiring. So before we get into the candle lighting, we'll spend some time meditating on healing and what that means to each of us individually. So let's get started by getting comfortable in our chairs. Find a position where you're supported and comfortable. Sometimes that's feet flat on the floor and sitting up straight, but whatever is comfortable for you. And consciously relax your muscles. Let out a breath. Let your body go as limp as you can while still sitting up, but just kind of relax. And we'll start by taking some slow, deep breaths. Take a deep breath in, hold it at the top, and then release. Inhale. Hold it. And release. Big sigh, and let all the air out. And again, feel your shoulders drop, feel your body relax. Once more, deep breath in. Hold it at the top and then relax. Exhale. One last deep breath. Take it in. Hold it at the top and release. And remember that healing is the revealing of the truth. Healing is the revealing, the harmony and balance that underlie who we are, underlie that love that really is the universe. Release and relax into that. Remind yourself that we don't have to control the how. Remember that we can choose to be open to all possibilities. We don't have to settle on one that we think is this is the one that'll work. No. Relax and be open to all the possibilities for harmony and balance. As we go into the silence, just breathe into that.
Healing is revealing of the truth. The infinite divine truth. In truth, all is good, all is well. Wholeness, harmony, abundance, and life for all. How do you want to experience truth? What is yearning to be revealed in your life? Knowing that healing is revealing the truth. Allow Spirit to guide you. Setting an intention for how you are going to express that truth in your life. For in truth is where all things are possible. Whatever that desire is, set your intention and allow the truth to be revealed. To signify this intention, we'll light a candle. The candle itself has no power. It's simply a representation of the intention to let that light shine within you, that truth to be revealed in your life. I'm going to light some candles here. You can choose to claim one of those as your candle, or you can light a candle at home. Staying in this connected state, calling to mind our intention, while B sings us another song.
Bernard, you have to unmute.
The imperfect science. If I was a bluebird, one day I would fly. Flap my wings, I'd fly so high I'd vanish in the skies. I'd become the raindrops that gather in the clouds. And then I'd rain down bluebird music on the people on the ground. People that were feeling blue would all lift up their heads, wonder at the bluebird songs raining down on them. They'd start to snap their fingers, tap their feet, and dance around. People that were feeling bad danced to bluebird sound. They sang sha-la-la-la-la-la, bluebird music. Sha-la-la-la-la-la, bluebird song. Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la, you know you can't refuse it. You hear those birds, you've got to sing along. People that were feeling blue would all lift up their heads, wonder at the bluebird songs raining down on them. They'd start to smile, tap their feet and move around. feeling the bluebird song. They dance to bluebird sound. They sang sha-la-la-la-la-la, bluebird music. Sha-la-la-la-la-la, bluebird song. You know, Breen, when you first heard that bluebird music, you gotta move, you got to sing along. Everyone must dance to bluebird song. So there.
There is one. One infinite divine presence. It is the beginning and the end of everything, for it has no beginning and no end. It always was and ever will be. God, Spirit, the Creator, divine. It is that force, that idea from which all things emanate. So I know that I am an individual expression of that one. So too is everyone on this Zoom, everyone on YouTube watching, everyone everywhere is a unique and individualized expression of that one. Just as the one flame lights many candles, that one divine spirit shines through each of us. So I know that every intention that has been set today is that spirit expressing. And that good is pouring forth into the lives of everyone present. The truth that is being revealed, the truth of abundance, of prosperity, of health, of vitality, of creative expression, of love, joy, beauty, of spirit. All that good is flowing into our lives now. And I am so very grateful for it. Grateful for this opportunity to set an intention, to open to that truth, to allow it to reveal. Grateful for all these lights shining together in love. With gratitude for all this good, I know that this truth is being revealed now. This good is here now. I know it. I claim it. And I speak this word into that creative law, the law that always says yes. And once again, says yes to every intention. I let it be, and so it is. I invite you to bring your attention back, open your eyes, bring some movement to your body. We get more beautiful music from Mr. B.
Hey, Breen. Bless you. I'm always inspired to be with you guys, always. It never fails to move me, regardless of where I might be caught. And I'm doing this just to warm myself up. You ever notice how it takes so long for the last light to fade? You Before the stars come out, the fireflies start their parades. The crickets start calling all around me. There's a sweet night falling. Sometimes I feel the world's heartbeat. It's deep in the month of June, air so close, it looks like the moon. Sitting on the highest branch of that old pine tree. All at once the crickets get quiet. La-di-da, 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 la-da. Yes, I know we're all gonna pass eventually. But watch, I'll come back one late summer night. You see, I'll be fireflies dipping, or a nighthawk calling, or a madman skipping under a big old summer moon. Ponies prancing, young lovers dancing. But I'll be back, I'll be back, I'll be back real soon. Shoo-ba-doo, shoo-be-doo, shoo-be-doo-wah. You ever notice how on nights like this sweet memories creep in? Like those times we crept out late, went down to sleep by the bridge. We built a little fire, talk all night of heart's desire. Sometimes our stories were so funny we laughed until we cried. Deep in the month of June, air so close, it looks like the moon. Sitting on the highest branch of that old pine tree. All at once the crickets get quiet. Night gives a heave and God gives a sighing. All the dark music begins again. All at once the crickets get quiet. Night gives a heave, God gives a sighing. All the dark music begins again. So that's meant to warm it up a little bit.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you, Bernard. Thank you, Mara. It's A and B over there. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It is the opportunity. We've been planting seeds and setting intentions and coming up with new ideas of what that healing means to us. So this is the wisdom share. It's the opportunity to give voice to whatever's come up for you. So if you've got something that you'd like to share, to announce, to reveal, to ponder together with the group, go ahead and raise your hand, either electronically or in the screen. Carla has demonstrated the electronic one. Go ahead, Carla Ann.
This is just so beautiful, and just so beautiful. And you know, I'm going to be reading the offering, so I opened my book to find it, and I came across this Risking for Greatness. I don't even know what class, or I don't know what it's from, but I know it's something from New Thought, and it's just what I needed. And I also wrote down the affirmation: healing is revealing the truth. You know, you all know I started a job back in May, and I've seen some glimpses of things in my boss, and I've heard conversation that I've really tried to avoid while still supporting my coworkers. But since January 15th, my boss has let out the side of her that is just, you know, special. And I'm doing this big, huge project, and I keep telling her that I'm you know, there's a lot, and she keeps giving me more stuff on top of it. And I love my work, and I don't want to be bitter about it. And this service today has really helped me, because I want to keep supporting my coworkers without getting involved with gossip and all of that and criticizing her. And then meanwhile, I'm so sorry I have so much. I'd gone on this date a few weeks ago that I was really excited about, but then the date was just terrible. And I was at a theater with a friend on Friday night, and I randomly met this guy, and who knows, God knows, but I don't know what's going to happen. But it's just like letting it all in and experiencing it and with joy. Even this project I'm doing, it's a cool project. And I'm going to stop talking because I'm talking a lot. So, but I just want to let the joy in and not the like, whatever it is that I'm feeling about my boss or yeah. And just thank you. Because I feel like I've healed, and Bernard and your wife, you're wonderful. And the reading was amazing. And Joe's amazing. You're all amazing. Thank you.
Carla, yeah. Ah, beautiful. Yeah, it's like we think we know where our good is coming from, but when we let go of that attachment, then it can show up in a completely different direction. Breen?
Yeah, when you were talking, and you mentioned Ram Dass, and I definitely know the story and heard him talk about it and read about it, and but it really resonated with me. This idea of not wanting help, not wanting to be dependent, not wanting to, because I get like that, and Jane and I are doing a home renovation project, and I need her help every now and then. Hold this here, move this there, and I get very, very impatient, and yeah, I can be a jerk. So so the truth is revealing is accepting help, being open to people helping however they can, and not being a jerk about it.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. And then the first piece is to understand who you don't want to be so that you can open up to the possibility of who you do. Sandy Fried, I see your hand.
Breen just reminded me of the Ram Dass. So my ex-husband lives in Maui, and my son and I went to visit him for his 60th birthday. And we were walking out of a coffee shop, and Ram Dass was in his wheelchair, and somebody was wheeling him in, and he stopped and said hello to us. And the look on his face, the amount of light coming out of his face, and peace and beauty and acceptance and love was astounding. So I just had to share that.
Sounds great.
Yeah, what a treat.
No
And
kidding.
yeah, say all sorts of stuff. Bernard.
Yeah, hi. Thank you, Bill. Good to see you all. I just wanted to take this chance to share something that my ego says don't share, because you're you and you have to be together. And I fell apart probably, what was it, 2 or 3 weeks ago. And because of the fact that I'm on the jumping off point of a kidney transplant, one of the issues that comes up is confusion. And I had said, yes, I can drive to Philly. I'll be fine. I can go to my appointments. And I found myself in the middle of an illusion and thinking I had already driven to Philly, and I actually hadn't. And my wife and my son stepped in and said, we'll help. And they got me to Philly, and I went to my appointments, and I came back, and it just brings on this feeling of gratitude versus I can do this on my own, because I can't. And the fact that I have loving people in my life just shatters me and leaves me feeling so grateful. So I need you all. And I love you. That's it.
Thank you, Bernard. It's really interesting that it is when we feel like we're being needy and leaning on people and unable to take care of ourselves, that the people who really care about us then have an opportunity to show us how much they love us and how much they care for us and what they're willing to do for us. And it's all theoretical up until then. So, what can I do to help? You know, we hear people ask that, oh, nothing, I'm fine. You know, and when it's obvious what we can do to help, then we get to step in and help without being asked. And
Yes.
it's not demanding. It's not downward energy. It's an opportunity to bring more love into the situation. And our ego tells us that we need to be on our own, and we don't. It's just flat out, we don't. Healing is the revealing of the truth, the opportunity for love to unfold in new ways.
Right.
That's all.
It allows people to complete you to a degree. And my son and I had a wonderful time. He drove from Brooklyn to Lancaster, and then we got together, and it was beautiful. So, you know, I don't know much. I know that.
Yeah. Open ourselves up to new possibilities, and it is amazing what can happen. Carl-Ann, if you had pushed through and wanted to keep dating the guy who you had the lousy date with, then you wouldn't have been available to somebody else to meet. So in some ways, it's all good. You know, preparing the field or whatever it happens to be. All right, let's see if I can make Carl-Ann cry before she has to do the offertory.
I know your ways. Okay. Ready? New Thought Philadelphia is all about spreading the love. Our community is supported by your contributions. The gifts you share help fund our work in the world, and the way you shine your light spreads the love. We are grateful for every way that you share. We don't have a basket today, but there's a donate button on the website to make a donation by credit card or PayPal or Venmo. You can also mail a check to our office in Ardmore. And the offering affirmation is on the screen. We'll say the affirmation together. I live in
an abundant universe.
I am
one with the infinite source of all good.
I am
the center of conscious prosperity. I enjoy the richness of life.
That's my gift.
I share
My gift with gratitude and joy. As I give, I receive. And so it is.
Don't let it fly.
Bernard, one more for us.
Huh? Dream of the sun, my friends, when clouds have covered him. Dream, won't you dream on a rainy afternoon? Dream, shining summer dawns. Try and see the way, my friend, while I watch the violet sky turn to blue.
Beautiful, Bernard. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. So blessed. The whole community is so blessed by the uplift, by the connection. You know, usually I sit in Philadelphia and I talk about the people who are all over the country and all over the world, and now I get to be all over the country.
You do.
And look in from the outside.
And I'm excited about that.
It's working out okay. And then you know, there's Fraser in Scotland making me look like a local or yokel. So, I can do both. So let us close the way we opened, in a cacophony. So go ahead and unmute your microphone and repeat after me. I am love.
I
am love.
Love.
I am healing.
I am healing.
I am light.
I
am light.
Light.
Let the love flow.
Let the love flow.
Let the healing happen.
Let the healing happen.
Let my light shine.
And I
Let my light shine.
And show. So it is. Drop the mic.
So it is.
Drop the mic. Oh.
Awesome. Thank you all so much.
Yay.
Yay.